This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It's so great to have you joining me here in these online lessons. This is a Technique Tuesday lesson, so I'll be throwing out a little technique tidbit here. And the technique tidbit I'm going to be throwing out is on a way to work with hammer-ons and pull-offs. Two things. It helps with developing our ability to do hammer-ons and pull-offs, which we end up doing in some styles. It also really helps with the strength and flexibility of the left hand. So let's just go ahead and dive in. So with a hammer-on technique, we have, this is a slur, it's a type of slur. We have a finger already down, and I'm at the first fret of the 6th string just to demonstrate this. So we have a note already there. It could actually be an open string, but it's usually one that we have a finger on. And then we play the next note without plucking with our right hand again. And we do a little slur, a hammer-on slur. And the reason it's called that is because with our left hand, we're hammering on the finger to make the sound of the next pitch. So here's an exercise for that. I will say it can take a little bit of a quick sort of forceful motion in our left hand to get that pitch to sound. When we're playing an acoustic guitar, it takes even more strength. But this is an exercise that I found that really helped me develop strength and flexibility in my hands and made it easier to do hammer-ons, and then we'll look at pull-offs, and even a combination of the two together really helped me be able to do those in songs when that comes up and when I'm improvising. So here we go. This is how this works. Down on the low 6th string, we're going to use our fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4 in frets 1, 2, 3, and 4. You could do this anywhere along the fretboard, but I like doing it down here first position where it takes the most amount of strength. And as we're doing this, we try and get our fingers on the tips and try and keep this part of the hand an equal distance from the neck. And then our thumb goes behind the second finger for the most part. We come around, and as I've mentioned in lots of Technique Tidbit Tuesday lessons, we want to avoid overextending the wrist forwards or backwards. There's a natural break, there's a little bit of play in there where it's no problem, but if we go too far, there's tension through the hand, and we want to avoid that. I also mentioned it really helps to stretch when doing these. Stretching in the wrist and in the fingers and in the thumb, because it's going to work them a little bit. Unless you've worked this sort of thing a lot before, you're going to feel it just a little bit. So I like to stretch before and then after. We have to think like athletes that are running or using other muscles in our bodies. We've got tendons and ligaments, and this muscle here with the thumb, and then the muscles in the arm and so on. All of these play into our ability to play the guitar, so we have to treat ourselves like athletes. Okay, so on the tips, what we do is I do 4 plucks between each finger combination. So starting with 1 and 2. Then I go to 1 and 3. Then I go to 1 and 4, work that pinky. Then we go 2 and 3. 2 and 4. And then 3 and 4, and that one may be really tough, but it's really good with the coordination. Then we move on to the next string and do the same thing. Moving to index and ring, index and pinky, middle and ring, middle and pinky, ring and pinky. We go index, so 1 and 2. 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 2 and 4, 3 and 4. On to that next string. Do this at a nice controlled tempo. Work on trying to get that pitch to really sing out that second one. You may start feeling it in the thumb, just in the muscle. Might feel it a little bit in the fingers. Do each one of these. You'll notice as we go higher, for the higher strings, the fingers curl up a little bit more. But we can drop our hand a little bit more too if we need to. to ring, middle to pinky, and our favorite, ring to pinky. After doing that much, it may help to stretch again. You can do these at different tempos as you get comfortable. You can do them fast. Of course, doing them fast doesn't work the hands as much, kind of like lifting weights. So the slower tempo actually works the hand a little bit better. And I'll mention that right now I'm not worried about my right hand. So if you're doing alternate picking or just down plucks, it doesn't really matter. We're worried about the left hand. Okay, so after doing hammer-ons, we got to do pull-offs. So the trick with the pull-off is to not just pull your finger off into the air. Now this guitar responds really well, so it may sound like it doesn't matter. But when I'm pulling off, I'm pulling down. So really I'm plucking the string with my left finger. So when I pull off, I pull down, and that's how we get a really good pull-off sound. Now in doing this exercise, we just basically do pull-offs instead of hammer-ons. So we go between fingers 2 and 1 4 times, and 3 and 1. 4 and 1, 3 and 2, 4 and 2, and 4 and 3. Pretty tricky between those fingers sometimes, but it's really good for our hands. Of course, then we go on and do 4 plucks on the next string, then between 3 and 2, 4 and 2, and 4 and 3. And we go on and do it on all the remaining strings. Once I've done hammer-ons and pull-offs with 4 plucks, it's really great to do them with 3 plucks each. Right through the same pattern. And then move on to the next string and do the same thing. And so on and so forth. And then I would do that with the pull-offs as well. Whatever tempo works for you, that works well, is just great. And move on to the next string. Once I've done 3 plucks, it works really great to do 2 plucks. Move on to the next string and just continue through that pattern, working each one of those. And of course, once I've done them all, I can do pull-offs 2 times each. And move on to the next string, and then once I've done 2, I can do 1, and then move on to the next string. And that's a nice little coordination exercise as well. And then of course we would do pull-offs, move on to the next string, and so on and so forth. So once we've done those, here's another one that's really cool with a combination of doing hammer-ons and pull-offs together. So I go hammer-on, pull-off on one string between frets 1 and 2. And then I move to the next string going pull-off, hammer-on, back to the so I do hammer-on, pull-off, hammer-on, and then hammer-on, pull-off, next string, opposite, and then I do. So it becomes like this little crawling exercise. I come back down, doing it one at a time. As I get the coordination, I can just keep it going. In my right hand, I'm only plucking once per string. Now, once I've done that, of course, I've got to do between my index and ring fingers. And between my index and pinky. Really great for the hands between middle and ring finger. And between middle and pinky. And between ring and pinky. Ideally, you'll keep a really even rhythm as you do those. Now, that last one wasn't quite perfect. These are challenging, so if you struggle with the coordination of it, it's okay. And if you just have to sit there and then move to the next one and try and do it, that's okay. Now, once you've done it that way, hammer on, pull off, back, hammer on and pull off, and then switch, pull off, hammer on. You can do it the other way. You start with the pull off, hammer on first. Which works the opposite movement for each one of those strings. So there I did the pull off. Initially I did the hammer on and then the pull off. And then I did the pull off and hammer on. So with the second round, I do that pull off and then a hammer on, pull off. And I do that between each of the finger combinations. Those exercises work the hand really well. You don't want to overdo it. If you feel in tension while you're doing it, you're going to get some repetitive motion injury. It's going to start hurting throughout the muscles. So you want to just do it a little bit. I liked it as a warm-up when I was in college and working on guitar then. I still use it as a warm-up and just getting the hands fluid sometimes depending on what I'm doing. I use a lot of different things. Scale exercises, hammer on, pull-off exercises, just different ones that sort of get my hands working and get my mind working, get me in tune with the guitar. These ones are really great for developing that dexterity in the left hand, the coordination, the flexibility, the strength. They're great for strength too. So great technique tidbit lesson there. I hope that helps. Of course, on Thursdays we have our Theory Thursday lessons. On Saturdays we've got lessons that come out with the mini course. Right now it's flat picking. There's previous mini courses that are posted on the channel from previous years, or previous eras really, just previous periods of time. Flat picking's been running for a little while and has a few more weeks to go, and then we'll be into doing jazz. So there'll be a jazz mini course coming out on Saturdays. Lots of cool things, lots of lessons to check out. I hope you're having fun with the guitar. Take care, and we'll see you again. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.